Good evening and welcome to tonight's show of If It Wasn't For My Knees. So tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. We've just got GJ and Uche with us today, and hopefully Mikey D is going to join us a little bit later on. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a chat about the season that's just gone, and we're going to give our perspectives of our teams and how they did during the season, and then we're going to pick our player of the season for our clubs, and then also the player of the season for the league. So I could probably start. Here we go. Mikey D, hello, welcome.
How's it going, lads?
So yeah, I'm just doing the intro to let people know what we're going to do today. So we're going to have a chat about our teams, how we think they did during the season, basically a review of the season from our perspective, and then talk about who we think our player of the season is for our clubs, and then who we think the Premier League player of the season was. So I'm probably going to start, actually. So obviously, Liverpool went into start of this season with high hopes. We signed Thiago, we signed Jota. Nobody of note left the club, so I thought, yeah, this is going to be a good season. But in saying that, I did kind of have sort of a lack of enthusiasm for the start of the season. So the first time that I can remember, for whatever reason, I wasn't that enthused about the season starting. And I think got a bit of an echo there from someone. No. So yeah, I think probably COVID, the fact that there were going to be no fans in the stadium. So went into the season not that enthused, but kind of got on with it. First few games, I think we won our first 3 games. Good, playing well, scoring goals, all good. And then we went into, I think there was a 7-2 Aston Villa game. That's the first one. So the 7-2 against Aston Villa. And it's actually funny enough, today is the first time I realised that Adrian was in goal. So I'm going to blame him for a lot of the goals that went in that day. But yeah, 7-2 kind of set the tone of how mad the season was going to be, because Liverpool alone were involved in, I think, 3 games where 7 goals were scored by one of the teams. And other teams in the league also had similar scorelines as well. So that kind of set the tone of how the season might pan out in terms of freak results. So I kind of took it as a freak result for me. So then the 7-2 happened. I think we won a couple of games. And then the big incident was the Everton game. So you and I, Uche, watched that match in a sports bar. Obviously, everyone knows what happened in that game. VVD got injured, but not just VVD. Just the whole game, just kind of was a sort of showing what the season was going to be for us. Because not only did VVD get injured, our best defender, one of our best players, out for the season. Then we had the VAR incident with that injury, where they gave an offside, but didn't even look at whether or not the challenge from Pickford should have been a sending off, which it should have been. So then there was that incident. Then there was the sending off of Richarlison for his foul on Thiago, which then put Thiago out till December. So bearing in mind this game was at the start of October, I believe, or mid of October. So that put Thiago out, our new signing. I think that might have been his first game for us. Was that his debut, or the game
he played at Chelsea, didn't he, as well? Played at Chelsea.
So, yeah. So it was one of his first games for us. Playing well, got taken out. He was out till December. VVD is already out for the season. Then we had at the end of the match, as if that wasn't enough incident. Then we had at the end of the match the goal disallowed for God knows what. I don't know. VAR decided that Mane was offside from a Thiago pass, the narrowest of margins. So yeah, that game happened. 2-2, VVD out. Okay, fine. VVD's out, but we still got Matip. We still got Gomez. So we may be able to cope, but we're probably going to need to sign someone in January. So I think we went on a run of 6 victories out of 7 after that, which is pretty good. Obviously, that was League and Champions League. And then November comes round, and then Gomez goes on international duty, doesn't come back. Gomez is now injured. So Gomez is out for the season. So, okay, I'm seeing that happen. I'm thinking, okay, well, it's really bad luck. It's really early in the season, but we can probably manage until January, where we're going to make some sign. We're going to make a signing at least. Whoever we're looking to buy in the summer, because for me, you've got to start looking past Matip anyway, because he's so injury prone. I thought whoever we're targeting for central defence in the summer, bring it to January. 1st of January, get that player in, and away we go. So I thought, okay, we're going to manage. We're going to manage from November, when Gomez got injured, to January. And we kind of did, in fairness. So we ended the year top of the league, in the league. Then there was that game that you and I, Uche, have had some discussions about, the Midget Lang Champions League game, where we'd already qualified. Meaningless, totally meaningless game.
Yep.
You see the starting lineup before the game, and Jota starting, Salah started, and a few other players who had no business. Bearing in mind the injuries we've had up until then, those players had no business being on the pitch that night. Obviously, given the luck that we'd had up until then, Jota gets injured literally just before he's about to be taken off. He's out until probably March actually. He's out until March. So we've lost Gomez, we've lost VVD, we lost Thiago, and now Jota, who'd been banging up the league until then, is injured as well. So that was kind of the start of the bad form for Liverpool. So we kind of had a few fixtures from the end of December into January where a couple of wins maybe, and then we had some draws. I think the West Brom draw was end of December, where we should have battered them. I remember in the chat, Mikey, in the WhatsApp chat, where I was saying, this is not good, we need to bang some goals. And I think it was either you or Uche saying, why do you need to bang? They're offering no threat whatsoever. And they weren't, in fairness. Then they got a goal late in the match.
You say that every match.
But no. But yeah, there is that. But we had missed a lot of chances in that game, and again, that was a sign of things to come in terms of creating chances, not taking them. So that happens. We had the draw. January comes around. January 1st, we're 4th of January away to Southampton. We lose that match. Terrible performance. First half was shocking. Worst performance I've seen for not just this season, but probably all of last season as well. First half, we go 1 goal down, and then second half, we create some chances. Not a great performance. We lose the match. Fine. Okay. 1st of January, we haven't signed anyone, and there's talk of us not signing anyone. Now, I was just asking Uche before we came online as to when Matip got his injury. I think he got injured, came back, then got injured again, and that put him out for the season. I can't remember when it was if it was in January or when in January it happened. It must have been January though, because we then decided late in January after the Matip injury that we were going to sign some players. But for me, if I'm Klopp and I'm looking back at this season that's gone, I think the things that he's going to look back at is the fact that we didn't sign anyone start of January, because the form started to dip then, and the injuries started to mount up. I think Fabinho had got injured at some point around then as well. So he was now playing in defence. He got injured. Hendo was put into defence. It was Henderson and Fabinho against Man City, the 1-1 draw, I believe, which was in December or January. So both of them took it in turns of getting injured as well. So I think from the team's perspective, the players' perspective, they're starting to feel like the world is against them. Add on top of that, some of the dodgy VAR decisions as well, goals being disallowed. We've had the most goals disallowed by VAR in the league this season. Anyway, then we had that run of results in January and February where that was taking me back to the dark days of the early 90s with Souness and all those guys. And what's his name? Uncle Woy when he was in charge.
I was gonna say, I was thinking Uncle Woy more like it, to be honest.
But nah, Souness days were dark when we're losing to Bristol and all those kind of Northamptons and all under Woy and stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah, January came around with that run of games, 6 defeats in a row at home, which shocking. That kind of just took the soul out of me. Basically, my enthusiasm for football just kind of ended in January and February with those run of games. Then March comes round, and I'm thinking top four's out. I think we were down in 8th at the start of March, and then Jota comes back against somebody, in the Leipzig. Jota comes back, doesn't score. Then he plays in the game away to Wolves, which is the next game, and he bangs. And then from there, the season just took off. So we went on that run of however many wins it was, 9 out of 11 or whatever it was. We put Fabinho back into midfield. We had the two defenders playing in defence, Kabak at first with Big Nat Phillips, big up Nat. And then when he got injured, ironically, then it was him and Reece Williams. But I think that change made a big difference. The fact that we put some faith in those guys to play in defence and have our midfielders playing in midfield rather than the defence, that kind of set us up nicely for the run to the end of the season. So all in all, started well, got to January, injuries, bad luck, all that stuff. Form dropped off a cliff. We managed to scrape over not scrape over the lines. We ended up in third, but we managed to turn it round. I frankly had no faith that it was going to happen. And we had the predictions in May and late April where we're saying, nah, it's not going to happen now, because we had the draw against Newcastle at home. The other game, Leeds away, where we drew, where it was like, this is not going to happen. Mikey kept faith. I had none.
No, I didn't keep faith. I predicted. There's a big difference.
Mikey kept faith. Mikey kept faith. But yeah, we turned it around in the end. Overall, I think in the circumstances, I asked this question on one of the previous pods, whether or not this is Klopp's greatest achievement under us. Probably not the greatest, because obviously we won the league, won the Champions League, but in the circumstances, given how low we were down in 8th place in March. I think it was like 12 games left or 10 games left to go. Given the injuries we suffered, defense, the two players we signed to help us with our injuries in defense then got injured and didn't play a game after the end of April. Given all of that, yeah, I think it's up. It ranks up there. I can only take my hat off. I can only take my hat off to the club, to the players, and to the manager for us ending up in third place, given where we were back in March. So
who would you give? Was your club player of the season?
Club player of the season. When I first thought of this, I was like, is it Nat Phillips? Is it this guy? And then I remembered that Salah's banged 30 goals or 31 goals or whatever it is. So it has to be Salah. But at the same time, Nat Phillips gets an honorary mention, because if it wasn't for that guy, then I don't think our form would have recovered the way that it did. So, and it was if not man of the match, but second best player on the pitch for half the matches towards the end of the season. So, yeah, Nat Phillips. In terms of the wider league, I don't know if you want to do that now or later on, but in terms of the wider league, it has to be a Man City player. KDB is the guy for me. But yeah, that's my review.
Okay. So, GJ, you want to do Spurs? No point doing 2 Liverpools in a row.
Yeah, no. So our season review, Mikey, you tracked our predictions, didn't you, for everyone's top 6?
I did it.
No, you did. Sorry, you
sounds like you're trying to line me up.
No. I was just curious to know whether I had Spurs in the top 6. I don't think I did. I think I predicted we'd finish 7th. I'm sure I did.
Probably knowing you, shookster like you are. I'll check it out. You keep talking. I'll find out.
Anyway, yeah. So brilliant start to the season. We actually had a really good, solid defence. Well, the very first game we lost actually to Everton away.
Everton, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a shocking performance, and everyone was thinking, right, Mourinho. As typical Spurs, we're going to get Mourinho's 3rd season in our 2nd season, which how it panned out. But after we lost, we went on an unbeaten run of about 12, 13 games, and had some good victories there, notably beating Man United 6-1, thumping Man United 6-1 at Old Trafford.
Everyone's beat Man United.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But we were going along really well. Kane and Son, they were just they were going on together like Shearer and Sutton, the SAS back in the day. great link up between them two. Lo Celso was showing some form in the middle. Even Eric Dyer in defence was putting in a shift, and we actually had the best defence in the league up to that pivotal loss where we lost at Anfield 2-1 thanks to an illegal goal by Firmino. And then after that, our form just collapsed, and we just fell off. Exactly. So normally we Spurs it up around February, March. So this year it was just like, okay, we'll do something different. And the weird thing was, we're actually a very, very good side over the Christmas period. But I think this season, I think we probably got about 6 points from 12 over the Christmas period, and it was very under par for us. And then, but we were still in all the cup competitions. We was going along nicely in the League Cup, knocked out Chelsea. But then as the season dragged on, defence started creaking up more and more. Eric Dyer, that guy's just a confidence player. He lost his head. Davinson Sanchez is just Davinson Sanchez, a £42 million donkey. Yeah, and but no offense, Uche. And then we started getting knocked out all the cup competitions, but obviously, got knocked out. I can't even remember who knocked us out the FA Cup now. My mind's gone. Everton in a really it was a great game actually, 5-4, because Mourinho was getting a lot of criticism for parking the bus and not getting wins. And that's the problem with Mourinho football. If it's one thing to park the bus and play dour football, but you got to get the results, because if you play well and lose or you draw, at least the fans can take something positive away from it. But when you're playing dour football and you lose, you're thinking, well, what have I got to grasp on? Well, what is there? I've just lost 90 minutes of my life. So he went to Everton in that cup game, and he just took the handbrake off, and we played really, really well. But our defence is a joke, and that's just carried on all the way to the end of the season. We know what happened with Mourinho. Sacking him on the eve of a League Cup final was just daft, absolutely ridiculous. That's just a brain fart. And then he brought in Ryan Mason, who, to be fair to Macy, as CT calls him, I think Macy, he won 4 out of 6 league games. I think that's
something
true.
like that.
Yeah, it's not bad. But the loss where the loss against Leeds, that was. If we had Mourinho in that match, he's just set up for Bielsa. He's got Bielsa's number. Every time they've met, he's collected the points. Macy thought, okay, no, we'll take Leeds on at their own game. And we duly got slapped. And then the kick in the teeth was losing to Villa at home. Villa had Grealish back, and they're just a different side with Grealish. Obviously, we won the last game of the season, but we ended up in the very
fantastic Conference League.
The very illustrious Europa Conference League. So rock on next season. Player of the season, Spurs player of the season, and the Premier League player of the season should be Harry Kane.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that.
You think you should get player of the season for not winning anything?
Most goals, most assists.
No, my question.
Yeah.
You think you should get player of the season for just winning top goal scorer?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Fine by me.
Yeah.
But he said most top goal scorer and most assists, right? He won 2 trophies. Two personal.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, it's a good shout. It's fair enough.
I mean, football.
Who comes second?
Football's all about, the hardest thing to do in football is to create chances and score goals. This is why your attacking players get more money than your defenders and your goalkeepers, because it's easier just to defend than it is to create an attack. And this guy, most goals, most assists.
You know what's harder than that though? Winning a trophy.
It's not his fault.
Yeah, but that's not his fault. Football's a team game.
It's cruel, but it's true.
Yeah.
But football's
I'm
a
on
team
with
game.
you. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, to be fair, he did win both awards. I mean, gotta give it up to the guy. He had a fantastic season.
That hasn't happened for years. Henri,
Yeah, I think it was
Henri never done it.
Andy Cole. Andy Cole last
Andy
did
Cole.
it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. So should we go to Mikey then for his?
I'm ready for this one.
I'm not going to bore everyone with a chronological mapping out like the other two guys have done. I'll just outline it. Arteta's made a load of mistakes. We kind of came into the season and we had an approach similar to Jose had at Tottenham in terms of that defensive play, low block, sit, counter, rely on Aubameyang, where Tottenham relied on Kane and Son. But we relied on Aubameyang and Aubameyang went missing. So then he had to kind of loosen things up a bit. And he kind of went with a formation that I'd expected him to play in a style of football opening up. He brought in Partey. Everybody thought that Partey would be a saviour in the middle. He's got rid of a load of players. Guendouzi. He's got rid of some crap as well. Guendouzi crap to me anyway. Difficult decisions. Saliba going on loan when we haven't got great defenders was interesting again. So all of these kind of man management decisions that Arteta's taken are quite surprising. And when you look back on them, having the season that we've had, you can easily critique them, especially Saliba, and some could say Guendouzi. We ended up trading Torreira for Partey. Torreira's going to pick up a league winners medal, even though he didn't play many games. But yeah, we've had some good performances. We've been indifferent. We've beaten most of the top sides. We struggled against Liverpool generally anyway, and City. But the other ones, we've beaten all of them. We've lost against a lot more of the lower sides than we normally do. Lost a lot of games, 13 plus games we've lost in the league, which is diabolical. But there's some optimism. I'm backing Arteta into the next season.
So you
ended up finishing on 61 points. Not many teams actually did well this season. If you look at the points tallies across the board, they were lower than the previous couple of seasons. And so it's kind of moved down. And yeah, we've regressed, but probably in line with the other teams in terms of their performance levels as well over the last couple of years. If you go year on year and take away any variables that you want to add in, crowd, etc. But yeah, next season will be interesting. It'll be interesting because other teams will be strengthening. Chelsea will be strengthening significantly. City will strengthen significantly, I believe. Manchester United will strengthen significantly. Liverpool might strengthen. So there's...
We already have. What do you mean, Mike? We already have.
Yeah. Does he start?
Yeah, of course he starts. There's all his injuries everywhere. Of course
he does.
Of course he's going to start.
So start this season. What? Is Gomez not going to be fit? So he just goes ahead of Gomez straight away?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Why not?
This is your guys. You guys can pick your 11 for next season when it's a Liverpool chat. This is.
I've got no problem with Konate starting ahead of Gomez.
Listen, we're on Arsenal.
Okay, I've got some questions then. Have you finished it?
Fire away.
Okay, so you started by saying that what's his name? Arteta's made some mad decisions, and you ended by saying that there's reason for optimism. You're backing Arteta. What do you think is going to change? Because that guy was making mad decisions up until the end of the season. So he started making mad decisions. He did it through the middle, and he ended it doing the same thing. So what do you think is going to change next year?
No, they won their last 5 games, bruv. So Mikey's got gas.
No pressure on when that happened.
Gas.
When there was
Mason
pressure
won
to win
4
that.
of 6 and you got gas, mate. What are you talking about? You need to pipe down over there. You're sitting under West Ham. Sitting under West Ham, though.
Yeah.
Don't blow that smoke my way.
So are you.
Check your trophy cabinet.
Here we go.
That's the resort. Anyway, what was the question, Ro? I was rudely interrupted.
So
by
what
TJ.
do you think? what do you think is going to change? Where's the optimism come from?
I've said it a few times on the pod in terms of our results against certain sides. We've beaten Tottenham, Leicester, United, Chelsea, even though it's a Chelsea without Tuchel at that point in time, really, really comfortably, playing expansive football for what it's worth. The previous season, we'd played low block and managed results against Liverpool, City and Chelsea. So there's been a transition in the way that we've played. The selection thing is an issue, but year on year, he's kind of getting the players that he doesn't want out. And it's very clear that there are certain players he doesn't trust. And that when we perform, it's when he's got certain set of players on the pitch. And as soon as one or two of them are missing, and he kind of changes it up and you see it, certain other players in, then it goes awry. But Pepe's got more game time towards the end of the season. Martinelli's coming into game time. I expect to see them at the beginning of next season. Hopefully Pepe and Martinelli. I don't know if Martinelli shouldn't get called up, but they should have a good pre-season going into next season. Most of our players should actually, looking at it. I don't think many of them will be featuring in tournaments over the summer. Not significantly anyway. And also, we won't be in Europe next season. So I back Arteta to be able to plan and map out results week on week.
Do you? Yeah. But anyway, I've got a couple of additional questions. Sorry, Uche. I've got a couple of additional questions. So,
Uche, is it linked to this one?
I've got no question. I just want to laugh.
Right. Next.
So you said, so with the way I saw Arteta was that, in fact, the way I saw your season was that I think you lost the first 3, did you? Or you lost quite a few at the start. Is that right? Or am I mixing up with last season?
We beat West Ham early on.
You had some dodgy results at the start. Let's say that.
We had dodgy results throughout the season.
But the way when I saw the change in Arsenal when your form picked up was when you had players out injured. You brought in Smith Rowe. He brought in, I can't remember who else. And it was almost by accident that he stumbled across, not even stumbled.
Yeah, people say stumble. So
it was by force that he had to
let me
play
just
these
correct.
players.
Can I just correct that? Smith Rowe was injured. So it wasn't stumbling upon. When Smith Rowe wasn't injured, he was phased in.
Okay. I'm an outsider. I'm just looking on.
I know, that's why I'm correcting you. That's why I'm correcting you.
That's all good.
Smith Rowe came in when he was fit. You could say that there wouldn't have been an opportunity if Willian and all of these other, I won't swear, were there. But Smith Rowe, when he was fit, played.
Okay, cool.
And so I don't think that you can. And Arteta makes some different decisions. So eventually, he managed to get Bellerin out of it and play Chambers. No one would have called that move.
Why was Bellerin playing in the first place though? That's for me the reason I'm asking these questions is that for me, I don't see how Arteta's changed through the season in terms of the mad decision, because you were moaning about his starting lineups way until the Europa semi-final and all those games, which were just a couple of weeks ago. So listen, going into next season, what do you think is going to change in Arteta? Because I can't see it.
And then make 2 mad decisions.
But you're backing him. So
I'm backing him because the players that he's selecting, like Willian and these guys, they're not going to be there, as far as I'm aware. So you won't be able to bring those players that I don't like into the team. Like Nketiah, I don't think he'll be there. So he won't be playing. So eventually we'll be left with a core of players that I don't mind seeing.
Stumbled across.
It's not stumbled. He's working them out.
Okay.
Who knows? Was Willian his signing? Who knows? Exactly. But it looks like Willian will go after 1 year. And he played 35 games and scored 1 goal.
It's encouraging. I saw a stat with about Arsenal. They'll be second since Christmas or something. Is that right?
Yeah, we've been good second half of the season. We've been good. There is some optimism, but then there's a core of fans that want him out. So
I was about to say, where's CT?
I'm on one side, and then CT's on the other.
Yeah.
But if you look at the stat that Uche said, and you look at the record that Liverpool have had as well in that period of time, Liverpool have been lining up in the last 3 months.
But that's crazy to me to have that stat and finish 10th. That is really bad.
We didn't finish 10th. Calm down, man.
Oh, where did you guys finish?
This guy,
Get him
off the pod. we need some authority up in the place.
Sorry, eight. Sorry,
we finished 8th, one spot below the Conference League.
2 points above Leeds and Everton. Fair enough. Okay.
However you want to reference it, 8th.
Haven't you finished 8th 2 seasons in a row under Arteta?
No, I don't think so. Did European places go down to 8th last season then? The season before? I don't think so.
No, I'm just asking.
We're in Europa, I'm just telling you. So where you're in the Conference League now, we were in Europa. So we must have finished. We must have finished above.
You won the FA Cup last year, right? So maybe
we did.
Yeah, that's how you got into Europe, isn't it?
What position did we finish? I don't think we finished.
I've got no idea. It doesn't sound like you finished.
I don't think we finished 8th.
It feels like you definitely
checked. While you're talking, I'll check.
Yeah.
Houdini's got a question for you, Mikey, but I think you've answered it.
Yeah, am I back in the process? I'm back in the process. I'm there. This is me.
What process is that?
Listen, you just said he's got the second most points since Christmas. You're giving me the evidence here. Thank you for the statistics.
You finished in 8th season before last, Mikey.
Did we? Oh my God.
Is that right?
How many points?
Yeah.
How many points?
You had 56 points.
Wow, that was a bad season.
10 defeats.
And we're on 61 points.
Did you have more defeats this year?
Yeah,
13.
At least 13.
13.
So you progressed.
So Houdini, to answer your question, Mikey D's back in the process because even though they've gone 8th, they've found 5 valuable points this season.
Listen, 5 points is a lot of points to find.
Yeah.
If you found 5 points, where would your team be? Not in Conference League. So let's be clear.
Yeah. I'm just saying, there is an upward trajectory. So chill, man. Don't get all.
You know what I see? I see my team, and I see us having regressed and struggling. And then I look at the teams around, and there are 4 teams that are clearly better than everyone else. And then there's the rest.
Of course.
It is what it is.
I said this weeks ago. I told you. I phoned up TalkSport. I said there isn't a big 6. There's a big 4.
And we'll see who can break in or who can interfere.
GJ, name them. I just want to hear you say it.
Say that again.
I want GJ to name the big 4.
Well, you're looking at the league table. It's the top 4 this season.
He doesn't want to say it.
You don't want to say
it.
Mikey, you didn't, or did you? Did you give your players of the season?
Oh, player of the season for Arsenal.
We know who he is.
You know who it is.
It's not that. Nah, mate. Nah, no way. No way. How?
Yes. Nicholas Pepe.
Ahead of Saka. How's that possible?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Apologies. Saka. Yeah. You know what? It's because Uche got that into my head.
He's so gassed.
You know what?
How are you going to get that guy?
Wait, no. Let's be clear. So for all the good that Saka's done, Pepe has the numbers on him. GJ, you were playing a numbers game a minute ago with Kane. So let's not change the narrative now. Okay? So just pipe that down. But yeah, Saka
plays further back.
No, he doesn't. They play in the same position. What are you talking about?
He doesn't, GJ.
You should be named Mr. Ping It 2.
I mean, he might have started the season there, but he doesn't.
He can play. He can play in defence.
Listen, Saka plays in an offensive position, as does Pepe. Okay, Saka can play anywhere. That's how good he is. But that's not the point that we're discussing here. But yeah, no, Saka definitely player of the season, followed by Pepe.
I didn't ask for seconds. There's one
Hey,
guy.
I don't remember us discussing.
Pepe's not in this.
Voluntary information.
Pepe's not in this.
And who's your player of the season for the whole league? We all know that one as well.
Yeah.
No, you don't actually. It's Diaz.
Yeah, Diaz. You're gonna say Diaz?
Oh,
You said
I thought
KDB
I was
earlier.
going to say KDB.
I said KDB.
I didn't think you said KDB.
Yeah, like, come on. The guy is crazy. He's like, we'll see when VVD comes back, like what the levels are between the two centre-backs. But them two, they're by far the best centre-backs in the league. Diaz is like ridiculously good.
I'm gonna say I've not noticed that myself, but
yeah, ridiculously good.
He's improved them. There's no question, but there's no doubt about that. He's been very good purchase on their behalf. I generally thought he would mess it up, but he didn't.
And what is he? 23?
Yeah, he's young.
Quite
young.
23 for a centre back. It's mad. Like his
yeah,
level
he's
is
a young guy. Very young guy.
all right. So we move on to you now, Uche.
Yeah, for me, obviously I was gassed when the season started, especially very happy with the people that I didn't think were going to buy in the end. Initially, the rumor started that we're going to buy Thiago, but to buy Thiago, we needed the money. So we had to sell Wijnaldum, and there was a lot of discussion with our Liverpool fans about that. And then in the end, we didn't do that. We kept Wijnaldum, and we had Thiago. And then in addition to that, we bought in Jota, which surprised me because that was like completely not seen at all. So going into, and then we had a left back who was brought in to potentially rest Robertson, and I was thinking, okay, Nico could also get some airtime ahead of Trent for some small games. So at the start of the season, I was extremely confident. I was really looking to enjoy being champions, and I think my first sign of worry was obviously COVID carrying on, which I didn't expect, and then I was really looking forward to the rest of the season and the fans coming back and the whole 2000 and all that. And then, like you said, Rel, the injury happened, and personally, I just thought it would be ridiculous for Liverpool to be that far ahead of the competition, to have VVD missing potentially what I thought personally was going to be 4 months or something like that. But obviously, it turned out not to be the case. I thought it would be an astonishing trial, but like you said, fair play. We kept at it. We were near the top, which was very, very surprising because I just thought it would be very, very, very lucky somehow if we can pull this out of the bag. Well, unfortunately, the injuries. So Thiago got injured, as well as VVD, and then he all started. Literally, I think not a few weeks later, Gomez got injured on international duty, and that's when I kind of knew that this is not going to happen. But obviously, I genuinely thought at that point we'll come second with ease because of the atrocity I was seeing for the rest of the league. But as this COVID thing carried on, I just lost my passion for the game. To be honest, I just wasn't feeling it. Purely and simply because I just thought this is not football, man. It's like, how long can this continue to happen? So, but it was good. I was happy that it was going on, but deep down, we just didn't feel like the same. Just all these games with the crowd, this crowd noise, the fakeness of everything, it just got me down. So at one point, I just wasn't really feeling it, but somehow we're still top. And like you said, in January, then the disaster happened. And interesting, you talked about that Michelin game. So that Michelin game was just annoying because it wasn't just Jota. He played about 6 of our players for no reason. Fabinho played in defense. He played Keita. He played Salah in that game as well. And you're just like, why did we do that? So I just think it was extremely unfortunate that he got injured in that game. And I left it at that. I generally thought it was for what looked to me like an innocuous thing. So I thought, okay, it's a bad decision to play these guys, but he probably got away with it because it didn't seem like anything serious. And then lo and behold, we're waiting for this guy to come back for nearly how many months later, which was extremely disappointing. And then January happened, and Matip, once that Matip thing happened, you knew that this is it, or it's done. The season is over. So you kind of have to accept that you're not going to win the league. And for me, which is what I was hyped about, which is to see these guys trying to win the league. Once you can't win the league, you just like, whatever, let's just go through the motion. And I've been gassing it, saying at least when the Champions League, I had it all worked out, especially when the draw was made and we had Real Madrid. I was really thinking, actually, if we could somehow get past these guys. Maybe, just maybe Matip Gomez or VVD might come back. You see all these little videos doing the rounds that they might, And of course, Madrid showed us that, this is why you don't play substandard players against us in a knockout competition. And we absolutely got mullered in that first leg. And that was that. So, and then all of a sudden, by that point, we kind of gave up on everything. We were looking at it thinking, we're going to finish in the top 4. And the run to the last few games were just, absolutely fantastic. And that counts all the characters, all the doubts we had about the players, about the character of these players. They just came back and they were able to pull it out of the bag. So in the end, I was extremely surprised. I think the biggest game was the Villa. One of the biggest sort of mood changes was the Villa game, because it looked like we're going to draw 1-1, and then Trent scored in 90th minute. And of course, the Alisson happened a few weeks later. But yeah, overall,
don't forget your United result.
What was that?
Don't forget the United result.
United. That was probably the most gassed I've been, because I didn't expect us to win. I looked at everything. I thought this is perfect for them to get a draw, or maybe even beat us, especially after they did that thing against Leicester. So yeah, the sort of the relief with Salah walking through and putting it away was pretty special for a dead game without the fans. But I'm glad. I'm just kind of glad the season was all over, to be honest, when it happened. But yeah, the fact that we could, I just did not consider us being in top 4. So the fact that we grabbed the top 4 was just absolutely brilliant. So in terms of the player of the season, there's no question in my mind is Salah. There's no question whatsoever. When everybody up front was messing about, either being unfit or missing targets, not putting the ball in the back of the net, he was just able to just keep, doing what he was doing. So I think it was 31 goals in all competitions at the end of the day of the season. I thought he was great, So for me, he's undoubtedly heads and shoulders my club's player of the season. Obviously, I understand why people should rightly so give a lot of credit to Nat Phillips. But in terms of player of the whole season, which is what it's about, playing the whole season, showing up for the whole season, taking your team through the whole season, I think Salah's statistics and what he did throughout those periods, especially during the dark period when everybody else was not scoring, is for sure my player of the season. And I would also have him for the EPL player of the season. But obviously, I know that most people wouldn't give it to him. I don't expect him to win. I don't think he even made it to top 6.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Sorry, did I just hear that right? You said Mo Salah for overall player of the season.
Yeah,
I mean, back just in time
as well.
He's back just in time.
I say that because I'm actually just tired of the disrespect the guy gets in the league is just ridiculous. I just thought, to be honest, I don't really understand it. I really hope somebody can help me out in terms of expressing why this dude doesn't get the full credit he deserves for what he does in the whole season. So that's for me is very strange. I completely get, obviously, what you're saying about Kane for the assist that he did, but like Mikey was saying earlier, for me, I'm always worried about empty calories, and for me, that for what Kane was doing was empty calories. You're not playing the league to win to get into Conference League. At the very least, make your goals mean something, make your goals achieve something. At least, Salah was banging goals trying to get us into the Champions League, and we did get.
Yeah, but even then, you're just in the Champions League. It's nothing major for Liverpool.
He shouldn't be. Absolutely. Like I said at the start of the season.
If I said to you at the start of the season,
no question. Like I said,
the best player in the league.
Let me come back on that. Gums, you're saying it's nothing major, but we won it the season before last. So us qualifying, unlike some teams, namely yours, us qualifying for the Champions League means that we've got opportunity to win that tournament, and that's what we will try and do next year. So it is kind of major.
Yeah, but
it's not a trophy. It's the road to a trophy.
We finished top
and you won what?
Plenty of time. So we've been there. I know what it's like to finish top 4.
What did you win with it?
Same as you this season, nothing.
What I'm trying to say to you is that it's a journey, right? Like you said, at the start of the season, we were all clear as fans. There was no way I was going to take top 4 as anything. No question about it.
This, lads. We can't. In no season has a striker that shot their team to top 4 been talked about as player of the year. Let's be real.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you, I understand that. Like I said to you, he's my player of the season because I feel that what he does. I just don't understand. What I'm saying is, tell me why this dude does not get the recognition he deserves. Is all I'm trying to say. Like,
You know what?
It's not the first. It's not the first season.
In
This has
terms of
happened as
him
well.
getting his due, I think most of that is Liverpool supporters. Liverpool supporters have this Mane Salah thing where they have a preference for Mane. In my experience, like
No, I don't see. Okay,
most
put
of
it
the
this way.
Liverpool supporters I know say they would take Mane over him.
Yeah, but they just released the thing, right? What do you agree with? They just released the top. I don't think he's in the top 6.
Who?
Salah. I don't think in the one that you sent the other day, the PFA Player of the Year.
He wasn't in the nominations.
No, I don't think so.
I think he might be.
I think
no, it wasn't the other one. It wasn't the other one for the Premier League one. I'm talking about the PFA Player of the one you sent. The players, PFA Players of the Year.
Yeah, the PFA.
Yeah, because there's 2 in it. There's one that he was in, which was the Premier League one. He's in that one, but he's not in the PFA Players of the Year award one.
I mean,
which one you sent?
But who are the 6 though? Because you could narrow it down. Because if
I think it's the 4 City players: Diaz, De Bruyne, Foden, and what am I missing? Gundogan, of course. Gundogan. And then it was 2 other players. So it must have been Kane. Yeah, Kane got it because I was complaining like for 1 goal, Kane gets it. Gets award. And then someone else, Grealish.
I think it might be, but that's players.
No, it's 4 City players.
Yeah, Gundogan.
So I don't think it's this. I mean, like I said, I could say obviously I could sit here and say the reason why I see as a standalone. Just to go back to Mikey's point is. Obviously, those players were fantastic, but the problem was that Man City will split the votes, is how I saw it. So if I was voting, I'd be thinking, well, it's hard to pick out those 4 players who was the standout. Foden was fantastic for them. Gundogan was fantastic. Diaz was fantastic. De Bruyne was fantastic. So one of those where you could say, actually, they kind of hold each other out. So the standalone kind of players is Kane and Salah. But like I said, it doesn't even make the top 6. So what does he have to do just for 1 goal? Because of 1 goal difference between him and Kane, he doesn't get into the. It doesn't even get into the top 6.
Kane got all the assists as well, didn't he? If you're going on that.
Yeah, I know. Fair enough. I mean, he did what he did. I don't want to diss him, but I just find that someone who's getting Conference League goals, it's a different thing. So,
yeah, but wait a minute. Well, he didn't score Conference League goals. He scored Premier League goals. Just like this is a measure on the Premier League. Your Premier League performance. The man got most goals, most assists. Your guy didn't even get most goals.
Well, like I said, he missed it by 1 goal. Do you know what I mean? But I'm saying that. Do you agree with that? He should have. So you're so you're telling me that you agree with that he shouldn't get in the top 6 of the best players this season?
No. I might hear that argument out, but I think you're getting a little bit defensive when you say he doesn't get his recognition. When he was having his best seasons a couple of seasons ago, you was rating Mane better than him. We've had that podcast, haven't we?
No, I wouldn't say I was there. I said he was voted. I said Mane was voted ahead of him, and that was another contention of mine as well, which I'll get to. I said he was voted the 4th best player in the world.
You rated Mane better than Salah.
Yeah, I rate them both.
Yeah, there you go then. So but no. You rated Mane better than Salah, and you said Mane should have been a contender for World Player of the Year.
Yeah, that season, that season.
Yeah.
I'm saying to you, this season, it's clear.
But I'm just saying, it's a bit ironic where you're saying.
But put it this way, yeah. I see something going like this, yeah. I don't think you'll get any recognition this year, right? And maybe for our club awards, I'm probably bet that no one will probably give it to Nat Phillips or something. I just find the whole thing bizarre. I just find the whole thing weird.
What was bizarre? What was bizarre was Jordan Henderson getting it. I mean, that was just.
Exactly. The year we won the last season, right? Yeah. I don't know. I just find the whole thing.
He only got it because he was English. Let's be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I find it strange because I'm thinking like, what is it? I'm thinking like, what is it missing? But like you say, obviously, if it's not him, then to be honest, I would have given it to Gundogan because for me, the way he went on that fire, being what is strictly speaking at best, the central midfielder at the very best, and I'm thinking even that's pushing it. Somehow this dude bangs in 12 goals when they absolutely needed him to do it, and he was just destroying everybody in his park. And also, I'll probably say Gundogan for that as well. Gets my vote. But in terms of, I know we're gonna do it next week. But player of the season, in terms of the team of the season, there's no doubt in my mind that Salah will be in there.
And yours should be.
Yes, I'm done. That's it. That's my
31 goals. Come on now.
Listen, as I said earlier, it's the Liverpool fans that don't give him his due. They're the ones who put Mane on his pedestal and place Salah on his
Look at
pedestal.
all these comments. Oh, this guy, Aki, he's on fire. He's just on the sidelines.
I'm not even acknowledging the guy.
He said this is 9 goals without a game and you expect him to win Player of the Year. So how many get? Oh, I don't want to.
It's not even English. 9 games without a
9
goal.
games without
9 goals without a game. This guy, you need to go. You need to go back to school, mate.
If someone can score 9 goals without getting a game, I want to.
We need to pay for his English teacher, man. What's going on?
But Uche, so Mane, what happened?
What happened is that Mane, there's a witch doctor in this forum who has been going to his who has been doing a concussion, and I think he did a magic. That was a disgrace to me. Mane was an absolute disgrace this year, this season. It's probably the worst I've ever seen it. To be honest, I lost all confidence. If it wasn't because of what I saw in the last game for the fans, I genuinely thought he's coming to a crash. He's crashed, and there's no coming back. And I had so many stats on the guy. He was so appalling. It was actually quite marking me down. Because we all know about the Firmino issue, not being able to score, put a ball in the back of the net. But Mane was just on a different scale of misses this year. So I thought it was really bad. For someone who was at a certain level to go down to the level that he got to this season was just atrocious. And I thought.
What do you think happens next season?
To be honest, like I said, I know it's only one game or a couple of games in front of the fans. I'm hoping there's something there that is somehow he reacts to the fans and somehow that's what's been missing, which would make sense because I felt like that for Martial when Martial was playing well. I felt Martial prefers the quiet, no fans. So I wasn't really rating what some of these players are doing without the fans. So I'm hoping that when we go to normality next year, that we're gonna see the best of Mane. But that's only based on the last 2 games because I just don't trust what I saw. What I saw was very, very disturbing. You know, it shouldn't be that great as a player and go that long showing that kind of display in front of goal. It was extremely disturbing. So next season, we have a big problem because I don't see us getting another striker. So he'll have to go with probably Jota, Salah, and someone else. And obviously, that someone else will probably be Mane/Firmino. And I don't know. I'm not gonna back either at the moment. It's a bit of a terrible showing. Because obviously Jota likes playing on the left, so you imagine that a lot more Jota would try to bench Mane more than he would try to bench Salah. But I would still try and put Mane ahead of Firmino for me. So I'll play those 3 and see how we get on. But not next year, I know what's going to happen. If VVD is fit and fully comes back to fitness, then like I said, we were talking about this earlier, whether it's Konate or Gomez, to be honest, I don't see much of a difference. Just get on with it and start keeping clean sheets and go back to the level that we know you can do, which is keep clean sheets and put some wins on the board and try and get that sort of back to 5, 6, 7, 8 wins in a row.
Mikey, I want to come back to you for a question in terms of because just to talk about Mane just now and Firmino just reminded me of Aubameyang. Are you concerned about his form this season, or has it been down to his injury and illness?
You have to be concerned about his form. His form is probably equivalent to what Mane's been displaying at Liverpool, to be fair. He did have malaria towards the back end of the season, which would have impacted things. He has been played wide and he's been successful wide. But if he's played down the middle, then I'm confident that he'll get the goals. The problem we have is Lacazette and whether he gets another contract, whether we sell him or and then we've got Martinelli as well. So there'll be options there, but then we're going to have the same newspaper rumours around Arsenal's highest paid player possibly not getting into the team, like Ozil. So it will be interesting. But if Aubameyang plays down the middle, I think that he'll score 20 goals in the season. I think even this season, he still ended up getting 13, 14 or something like that. And he was trash.
I was going to say he went through a long period of being very trash.
Yeah.
But do you think Arteta's actually going to do that? Because he hasn't.
Depends who's making the decisions at the club. Because we can go back to the Willian thing where we signed Willian and he ended up playing 35 games. And so you would kind of think that it was Arteta's
35, goodness.
So you would kind of think it was Arteta's kind of signing. But then we're looking to shift him out. And so was it really his signing? I don't know. There's a few odd kind of ins and outs at Arsenal in terms of transfers. Edu's heavily involved and they've had various different people involved. But Aubameyang, he's dangerous. He's still got the pace to kind of frighten defenders and he still gets goals. Like, he's not hyperclinical, but he'll still score enough.
Got a comment there for you,
Houdini, just so that you can be aware, certain members of this pod have been eyeing up Balogun for the most part of this season. Yep. And also Saka. So we have got players that people want. Let's not be silly here. But less so than usual. Well,
that's a good news. The way he's saying is that it's good news for you. No one's gonna come and jack your players.
What will be interesting? As I said, I'm okay going into next season. Seriously.
Of course you are. Or else you meant to do is a disaster.
You'll be surprised.
And Graham, just to let you know, your top 6 prediction. Yeah, you did not have Spurs in the top 6. You had Liverpool first, your favorite Chelsea boys second, City third.
Wait, Uche, sorry. Wait, wow. Under Lampard, second. And you want us to believe that you don't have a soft spot for Chelsea.
GJ, man. GJ.
And he had Man
It wasn't
City
just
third,
a 2-2 thing then.
and he had Man United fourth, and he
Explain
had
yourself, GJ.
Arsenal fifth, and Leicester
I
sixth.
can. I had Arsenal 5th.
Yep, and Leicester 6th. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, does that make me an Arsenal fan because I had them in the lofty heights of 5th place?
You reckon?
No, you had Chelsea under Lamp second. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that, please.
Let's focus on that.
Yeah, all right. So basically, Chelsea spent a hell of a lot of money in the close season, and Chelsea finished in the top 3 last season. Finished top 4 last season. Did they finish 3rd last season?
Don't worry about last season. Let's talk about Chelsea under Lamps.
I'm pretty sure they finished 3rd, and Man United were 4th. So, based on the fact that they finished 3rd, and the fact that they spent about 250 million, whatever it was, I was expecting Lampard. Well, I was expecting I'm not saying Lampard was a great manager, but I was just thinking Roman's just giving him an empty checkbook, and they're gonna do something with it. So I expected them to finish 3rd. Did I say 3rd or 2nd?
Second above City.
Second.
Oh yeah, I had them above City. Yeah,
he said 3rd.
Yeah, I had them above City because I didn't expect, because City flopped last season and they were really low on points.
You might as well stop talking. GJ, you might as well stop
I wasn't expecting Ruben Diaz. Hey, before Ruben Diaz got City going, they were flopping again this season.
They were, to be fair. But GJ, you said Lamps to finish above Man City.
Yeah.
How?
To be honest, we all had Chelsea 3rd. He had Chelsea 3rd.
3rd? Behind City?
Yeah. I had Chelsea 3rd. Mikey had Chelsea 3rd.
There you go then. There's only one
The
place
significance is GJ.
But the significance that you put City
to finish above City.
Because I expected. Yeah, because I expected City to regress further this season, and they shut me up. Sure did. I mean, I looked actually quite good with my prediction after about, I don't know, 15 games, but then Man City went on this mad run of, what was it, 14 wins or something like that? And
Yeah, something crazy like that.
They just blew everyone out of the water. And, you know, as you said, Uche, Gundogan, obviously Foden came into it. Diaz got a tune out of John Stones, for crying out loud.
Yeah, no, it's crazy the way they. Like, that's why I thought it was gonna be a funny one, because I was expecting that he wouldn't be able to find a partner anyway, and they're gonna be a laughing stock, and they're gonna lose games, and then they just completely just turned it around. It's almost like they were working away in the lab and just kept quiet and just kept putting wins up, but the people realized what was going on. It was too late.
Yeah,
And GJ, just before, we're probably going to wrap it up soon. Just before we do, there's talk of Conte coming in as your manager. Do you think that's going to have any impact on Kane?
Sorry, do I think that's going to have any impact on
Kane staying or leaving?
I think it will. I think if we do get Conte, I think Kane will stay one more season. And I am really, I don't know about you guys, I mean, I am really hoping we get Conte. I mean, before he came available, my number one choice would have been probably Rodgers. But if Conte is available, world-class manager, you've got to go for him. And I really hope we get him. I still do not underestimate Levy's ability to F this up, and with this really tight wage demands, and just like, oh, if you win the league, we'll give you what you want, but if you don't, then we're only going to give you half and do all these incremental payouts. And Conte would just say, get lost. But I mean, if we could get Conte, that would be massive. That's a real statement of intent. And the good thing with Conte is, I mean,
intent for what?
That's what I don't understand.
Intent for what?
Well, sorry?
Intent for what?
Intent to push forward. And I think if we get Conte, and we Conte ain't going to go there with no money to spend, right? So I think Levy, and the thing with Levy is he's not stupid, because he knows if Spurs keep 7th, 8th, and all this stuff, the Tottenham brand will just diminish, and the club will be worth less and less, and that's no good for him, because he wants to make money. So he knows you have to invest you have to speculate to accumulate. So despite, I think Spurs have just freed up another loan, which gives them a little bit more maneuverability in terms of making signings. Whether Kane stays or goes doesn't bother me. I just really want Conte. If we sell Kane, then we could get someone else in. Kane has to go. I think with if you're getting Conte, you have to sell Kane. I don't think there's any question about it.
Why? You have to move on. I just think you need to move on. Just take the money and just let him go. Just let him go out and get whatever the heck he's looking for. Just start again. You know what I mean? You don't need like these one player. It's happened so many times with Liverpool. Yeah, you think it's gonna be a disaster. Most often than not, it never actually is a disaster. No, it was actually good for both clubs. You just move on. Yeah. Just move on.
So you guys got rid of Coutinho. You got rid of Coutinho.
That's what I'm saying. Honestly, I just think, like, for me, the problem you're gonna have is that your manager you're getting in is a big manager, and whatever he comes across as Spurs, he's not gonna like what he sees.
And
that's where the problem. That's where the problem is gonna really start. I want him
to go in there and kick ass.
Kane leaving Tottenham is the equivalent of Salah leaving Liverpool. That is what it is.
Forget it. He hasn't done anything for. I mean, like I said, honestly, sometimes you just have to let go. Yeah, I know, but you just sometimes, it's just best that a guy wants to go. Just let him go, man.
I think Tottenham could still get 7th or 8th without Kane.
Yeah, and just plan differently. I mean, there are other strikers. There are other ways of doing it. Look at this season, right? I mean, I thought at predicting this season that these people will be useless without Aguero, because I felt he was going to get injured, and he did get injured. Somehow they shocked the world, and other people stepping up, and next minute they win the league without no striker. Sometimes you just got to play differently. Yeah, but it happened when it matters, I suppose. It shouldn't happen again. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that honestly, I thought it was going to happen.
Do you think Tottenham have good enough players for Conte to work with?
Oh, no chance. Zero.
Like, he's going to need about 6-7 signings.
Honestly, it's gonna be beef. The beef is gonna be mad because he's gonna demand so many things, and the quality is just not there. So
he's gonna be gone. It's gonna be
honestly. I think the clash will be too mad. I think maybe it could be 8 months mad. I just think it's gonna be a mad one because it's either you give him what he wants, and he never stops moaning anyway. So it's either you give him what he wants, and he keeps on moaning to the press as he always does. And he's just extremely demanding. Someone like Dyer, I'm just trying to imagine what Conte would do like someone like Dyer. He's just gonna match this guy up. It's gonna put me back
and Dele Alli.
Yeah, people like that. He hasn't got time for people like this.
Nah.
Just wind him up.
What I like
he's
about
a very,
Conte,
very intense guy. Very intense guy.
He's a very confrontational, intense. He's a driven winner, and I want him to go into Spurs and kick the arse out of him because when I just see. When I picked Chelsea to beat Man City, I was talking about personalities and leaders and winners. When I look at Spurs, I just see a bunch of bottlers.
Yeah, we know.
Like,
but Jose did the same thing.
No, Jose tried to toughen them up. I remember on the Amazon documentary, he says, because I want you to be a bunch of CU.
Exactly. Yeah.
He goes into Yeah. And these guys, the biggest pussycat out of the lot is Son. This guy's a crybaby. He cries after the Carabao Cup final. Cries when he accidentally broke.
I'll take him.
Yeah, we need him.
So Klopp's got a shoulder for him to cry on.
I honestly, I think it'll be interesting, but I just can't see it working because this man is over the man. The most impressed I've been with Conte was definitely his first season at Juve. I know people don't watch Italian league, but what he was able to do with those guys is just unbelievable. He could if he sees a hard-working player, he loves those players, and they don't be anybody. He could be some guy. He could right now. He could be some unknown guy in your youth team, and he would just spot him and he would just play him, and you'd be thinking, "Who the hell is that?" And then next minute, he's having a great game every week. That's why it's so impressive by him.
You know, like I talk about leaders and that, I'd swap Son for Mane.
Nah,
we're all right. Nah, we're
fine.
We'll take him on top of Mane.
No.
We'll have both.
Really?
Yeah, we'll have both.
Even after Mane's season, and Mikey's Juju, like working his magic.
Like you said, the crowd will be back. The crowd will be back. His kryptonite is gonna be taken away. Crowds are gonna be back, mate.
The offer's there, boys. Honestly, we can do this.
We don't need that.
We're all right. Cheers for the offer.
Thanks. All right then, lads. Shall we wrap it up there?
Yep.
All right. So thanks everyone who joined the show tonight. We're going to be back again on Monday. So see you all then. Don't forget to follow us on our socials, Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're also on Twitter. So do share, like, and all that stuff. And if you're watching on Twitch, please do sign up to Twitch so that you can get involved in the discussion during the show and sort of lead our discussion as well. So thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.
Cheers.
Yes,